So I make these anti-technology satire videos, and I've made over 100. So I've had to find ways to cut corners, and what I'm going to do tonight is share with you some of the ways that I can help you make videos, hopefully good videos, without spending a lot of money. So how do you do it? It should be pretty easy. Step one, get a camera. Step two, press record. It really is that easy. I mean, all you're doing is taking a message and trying to communicate it to an audience. And you should come back to that concept because that's really the challenge. You've got some idea in your head and you're trying to fashion it through a video to reach the audience. The thing about video that's nice is that it communicates on so many different levels and use all those channels to communicate your idea. And you don't need to repeat things either. If the guy is walking, he doesn't have to say, hey, I'm walking here. So take advantage of all those different channels. And in fact, what's a good trick is sort of irony, sort of use contradiction, maybe some music that doesn't really fit the message. But one thing you're really going to have to do is sort of let go of that expectation of quality. No one ever said Psycho wasn't scary because it was in black and white, or Dr. Strangelove. And similarly, all the special effects in the world are not going to make Keanu Reeves a better actor. We live in a finite world. If you're going to make a masterpiece, that's great. It's going to take forever. But what I'd recommend instead is to concentrate on productivity instead of perfection. I mean, for me, I want my videos to be funny, and I'll sacrifice other things in order to reach that goal. So the basic process is here. You start with just a ton of ideas, and go ahead and do sort of a brainstorm, like all the ideas, even ideas that you know you're going to have to discard, because only once you have a large pool of data can you start to see a pattern. And go ahead and see the things, the highlights, the really important parts, and then discard some of the ideas. And it's really hard because there are ideas that you really like and you're going to have to discard those. But unlike an Ignite presentation, it's better to hit your audience with one or two great ideas instead of bombarding them with a bunch of good ideas. Now, finding a character should be fun. Inside of you, you might have some personalities. Let them out. They come out into different characters. And another thing is you can use themes. And the theme doesn't really have to match your message. The idea of a theme is that you just leverage something that's already familiar to your audience. I figure I don't have enough time to establish what's going on. And if a theme is going to get me closer to that, that's great. Like this looks like the Cops TV show, just a font, and that's enough to kind of get to where you want to go. Now, written things like scripts and storyboards, that's all fine, but realize it's really far away from the end product. And you want to, it's a lot of people, they think they have a script and then they're done. Well, that's like the beginning. So kind of get away from that and start doing things like animatics, which are sort of prototype storyboards with time. Oh, this is the part where you have to do some improvisation. Everyone's going to have to come up here and sort of be embarrassed, right? I hope some of you are cringing, because that's really what the feeling is, right? But you're going to have to jump to that point. I mean, eventually you're going to have to get in front of the camera. So throw away the script, start doing improvisation. I actually don't let my actors see the script and read it because it sort of taints it. So use improvisation to get natural sounding dialogue, and then record yourself practicing, because then you can watch it back and it helps you memorize. So as far as acting too, there is no such thing as overacting. The budget-conscious video maker has no time for subtlety. But you're going to have to get a special camera, HD, whatever. No, forget this. Focus on the basics. Lighting, shading the camera, maybe put it on a tripod. Although, handheld's cool, but that becomes part of the message, the camera shake. Now, the biggest tip I can give for shooting is to become a pessimist. Look inside the viewfinder, looking for what's wrong, because your brain normally sort of blocks out all the distractions. And the same thing with audio. If you really listen carefully to what's going on when you're shooting, you might have some sound that'll kind of ruin it otherwise. Now, when it comes to editing, you have all these cool special transitions and page curls and stuff. Do not use any of these. This is a warning. I mean, the only thing maybe is the fade down and fade up. It communicates the passage of time. But realize anything that you use will become part of the message. And if it's not adding, it's definitely distracting. And the idea of editing, remember, it's called editing. I mean, cut stuff out. It's hard to throw away stuff that you worked really hard on, but it's disrespectful to the audience to waste their time. So really say, is this really adding to my message or not? And just cut it out otherwise. Now, I said it was going to be on the cheap, and I don't know how. Here's a great tip. Anytime you need an image or a sound effect, just make it, record it. I don't know how many times I've looked around on the web for an image or something, and it would have just been better just to take the picture. It would have been exactly what I wanted. So you really can do it. It is that easy. Let my videos be an inspiration for you, because if you see them, I'll bet you'll say, oh, I can do better than that. I mean, they're pretty rough. So just remember, It's about the message, and everything else is secondary. Thanks.